JKB back with another episode. Today on the show I'm reviewing Sonic Team Racing. Thank you to Sega for sending over the review copy. I think it's safe to say that very few kart games have come close to the success that Nintendo has achieved with its Mario Kart series. Team Sonic Racing does a lot of the same gameplay elements, but spins them with the world of Sonic. After a few hours of racing around the Sonic-inspired tracks and customizing the different karts in the game, I had a feeling the game would live up to the hype that Sonic fans expected from this series. Without spoiling the story, I will say it's about an alien that sends Sonic and his friends invitations to compete in team-based races. That's the setup. Does Sonic and his friends trust this alien? Not exactly. Does Eggman show up? Maybe. These are questions you'll have answers for if you play the game for yourself, but for me, the story isn't exactly that important. There's also a huge cutscene that was cut from the Nintendo Switch version of the game, and this has been confirmed by Sega due to the cartridge sizes. So if you're a major Sonic fan, I would suggest going with the Xbox or PlayStation 4 versions of the game. Overall, the story is quite forgettable, and I have to say it's not very important to begin with, so it is what I expected it to be. On the surface, the game does feel like a pick-up-and-play karting game. However, if you get a little deeper into the game, you'll see that there's a lot of customization and a lot of choices that you can put into how you want to play this game, and that's going to keep the hardcore players coming back. There's 3 different classes of racers in the game. You've got your technique, your speed, and your power. Each of these have unique abilities. For instance, the one ability that I thought was interesting is letting the technique racers race over rough surfaces like grass or mud without causing the racer to slow down. So this will play into the whole customization of the game, and also play into if you want somebody who's all about speed or somebody who's all about power. You get those choices, and they definitely do feel like it's balanced. You'll also come across weapon power-ups on each of the tracks that can be shared with your teammates. The game is designed to be played as a team. You'll gain more points for helping your teammates out during a race. There's something called the ultimate meter in the game that can only be filled when you work with your teammates. Once the meter is full, you'll be able to get a super boost out of the meter. Your teammates will also have slipstreams behind their cars that you can drive into to help you fill the meter as well. I did notice while it's important to interact with your teammates in the game to gain the advantage of a huge speed boost payoff, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to focus on the team play aspect of this game. It's kind of only later into the game when you really need to play as a team. Or more importantly, when you play on harder levels, I should say. Lastly, the right stick lets you perform mid-air tricks. The more you do without causing a crash, the more of a boost you'll get when you land back on the ground. Overall, the customization is tied into a loot system where you'll need to collect points as you play the games, and you'll unlock something called mod pods. Once you've unlocked a part, you can head over to the garage on the main menu screen and see the stats of that part, and also build up your car the way you see fit based on the available points. Parts will modify the handling, the boost, the acceleration, the defense, and top speed. I really enjoyed customizing Sonic's car. You may want a different feeling out of the car, but not want to switch racers. This way you'll be able to get as many different feelings out of one car by using the customization and different parts. The garage will also let you paint the cars that you're customizing, which can help you stand out during online matches. Everything you would expect from online play is here. You have ranked and non-ranked matches, so if you want to practice, you can definitely do that. I didn't experience any slowdown or lag during my online play, but I do have a very good router, and I was sitting very close to it. You can race up to 12 people online, and the game supports 4-player local multiplayer, and this is so amazing to see. So you can go to the park, hand somebody a controller, and be playing multiplayer in the park, and if they bring a controller, up to 4 people at the park. That's one selling point that this has that the other systems don't. Lastly, the track design is really well done here, and it's based on Sonic's classic level design. You'll do loops, you'll see enemies from all of the classic Sonic games, and you really do get the feeling that the team understands Sonic. and you can tell by the way this is made. The original platforming levels were always designed so perfectly to fit the gameplay style, and I feel that the team understands for a karting game, they can get away with including a lot of those platforming elements. The one question I had the whole time is, why is Sonic driving a car? And, maybe there's an answer for that, but I'm pretty sure he's probably faster than being in a car, but it's a karting game, so yeah. Graphically, I am impressed with the Switch version. It runs at a solid 30 frames per second with no slowdown during my experience. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version of the game is running at a solid 60 frames per second, so that's something you want to take into account if you're going out to buy the game after my review. It does definitely run a lot smoother on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I'm very impressed with what they've done to the Nintendo Switch version. This game could have failed miserably on the go, but the cars have different paint textures that really stand out to me, and I feel that the game looks great and plays great, even though it's on a less powerful system. I'm just super impressed with the lighting effects and the track design. I think the graphics are spectacular for a Nintendo Switch handheld game. I found myself really enjoying a few of the songs during the races. There's also a few tracks that sound like pure emo music that reminds me of 1999 for some reason, and it makes me question my life and, but overall the music is very Sonic. I think that fans of the series will absolutely adore the music in this game. As for the rest of the sound design, it's on par with the rest of the game. You'll hear rockets fly by your head if you're using headphones, and when you have it docked, you'll hear engines roar through the television just like you would expect, with a higher quality than some of the other ports that you see on Nintendo Switch. So I have to give credit where credit is due. This game is solid all around. Everything about the game feels great. The cars feel great, they feel different from one another, the characters definitely stand out from one another. Some of them are very cringe-worthy, but that's fine, that's Sonic. Tracks are varied with tons of twists and turns. The dialogue is laughable at times, but maybe that's kind of charming to some people out there. The customization is what will keep you coming back to this game. There's 21 tracks in total, which include tracks from previous games in this series. There's 15 racers to choose from. Everything sounds great, but at the end of my playtime, I think I kind of lack knowledge of these characters, and that really kind of limited the amount of fun I could have with the game, because they are very childish characters at times, and it gets out of hand, the amount of cringe that is displayed on screen. That's definitely one of the only issues I had with the game, that if you're not familiar with these characters, you will probably find them to be cringe-worthy. But there was another problem that I came across as I was recording this footage. The UI decided to just disappear, and you can see from the footage on screen now, I had to actually reset my system to get everything working again. Overall, it's solid, and there's a ton of gameplay to be had. The team-based gameplay isn't as pronounced as I think it could have been, but the line kind of blurs on just how important that mechanic is to begin with. It's a fun idea, but I know many people prefer to race solo. It's harder to focus on a group of characters racing around when you have weapons involved. You'll find yourself kind of worried that you're missing out on things, or you're not paying attention to your teammates enough. It's definitely confusing at times, and maybe I'm just getting old. I'm gonna give Team Sonic Racing a solid 7.5 out of 10. It's hard for me to say that this is a must-own game for the system if you already own Mario Kart, but if you're a fan of the Sonic franchise, it's safe to say that they've done something special and a really great job on the game. The best part is that Sega isn't asking a full price for this title, and for what you get in the game, it's definitely worth its asking price if you're into karting games. Now, if you're a Sonic fan, I think it's safe to say it's probably worth picking up right away without any discount on top of it. I had a lot of fun, even if it gets repetitive. And, well, that's kind of the point of these games. You learn the tracks, and you get better as you go. And then, after you've done all of that, you jump online and really start competing. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you on the next episode of JKB.